So in this video, I'm going to talk about two UFC fights that I personally wanted to see so bad because I believe those fights could have been huge and special to a lot of UFC fans, but unfortunately, those fights never happened. But before I continue, please make sure to subscribe, comment, and like the video, and to follow me on my Instagram page. So the first fight that I thought was going to happen but never happened is the fight between George Rush St. Pierre against Khabib the Eagle Nurmagomedov. Back in 2020, Khabib was facing Justin Gaethje for a second title defense, and he won the fight by submission. And after the fight, everyone in Khabib's camp and in George's camp thought that Khabib was going to call out George to challenge him, but unfortunately, Khabib decided to retire after the tragic loss of his father. And it's so crazy because Khabib's father wanted to see Khabib go up into the welterweight division, the division where George competed his whole career. And plus, he mentioned that George was one of his favorite fighters of all time to watch in the UFC. At that time in 2020, this fight would have been very, very huge because Khabib was hot at the time. He was undefeated. He was beating every guy that was on his way, and he never lost a single round in his career. It would have been very interesting to see how Khabib would have handled a guy like GSP, who's a good striker, a good wrestler, really good on the ground. Plus, GSP mentioned that if he would have fight Khabib, he said that he would have tried to take him down in certain angles, and also he would have did his best to move a lot in the octagon and stay way far from the fences. This is crazy because when you think about it, I've never seen anyone try to take down Khabib. So it would have been very interesting how Khabib would have defend the takedown against a talented wrestler like George St. Pierre. Staying away from the fences is a really good strategy because when you think about it, all the Dagestan fighters like Khabib, Hamzat, Bilal, and many more, those guys are really good at taking the center of the octagon and pressuring their opponents to lean back against the fences. And when they lean back against the fences, it's really easy for them to take him down and then dominate them. The second fight that I wanted to see so bad, and I still hope that it happens, it's Francis Ngannou against the one and only John Bone Jones. Unfortunately, this fight didn't happen because when Francis Ngannou was active in the UFC, John Jones took a break for 3 years, and then when he came back from his break, Francis Ngannou left the UFC because he wasn't able to renegotiate a new contract with the UFC. And this is very unfortunate because this could have been one of the biggest fights in the heavyweight division in the history of the UFC. You have John Jones, who can do it all. He can wrestle, he can strike, he can do some jiu-jitsu, he can grapple. On the other hand, we have Francis Ngannou, who's also a really good wrestler, but as we all know, his primary weapon is his knockout power. Because with Francis Ngannou, it only takes one shot to shut your lights out. So yeah, it would have been very interesting to see how a guy like John Jones would have handled the striking of Francis Ngannou, who has some powerful punches. And for Francis Ngannou, it would have been very interesting to see how he would have handled a guy like John Jones, who can do it all in the octagon. A guy who can put you down, submit you, and even knock you out. Earlier, I saw a post on Instagram. I don't know if it's true or fake, but apparently the PFL would have offered Jones $50 million to fight Francis Ngannou. Listen, I don't know if it's true, but if it's true, I really pray that this fight happens. And that's it for the video, guys. I hope you enjoyed. Please make sure to subscribe, comment, and like, and to follow me on my Instagram page, and see you next time.